Welcome to the Swirl Suite, everybody. Happy Wine Wednesday. So before we get started with this episode, I wanted to give a big shout out to Leslie Freelow, who is a 100% entrepreneur as of last Friday. So Leslie is Vino 301, the wine concierge. She is all wine every day right now. And a big congrats to her. And she can focus all of her time and energy on her passion, which is delivering great wine to great people. Now on to our episode. Our special guest today is Jeryl Cole of Off the Rocks Wine and Beer. Jeryl and his wife Ty, they wanted to open up a high-end wine and beer shop in their neighborhood on the east side of Baltimore that they would like. And that's exactly what they did. Listen to their story. Let me know what you think. Cheers.
Did you guys get to enjoy the long weekend?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah. What about you?
Oh, it's no enjoying any holidays, right? We're at the shop. Holidays is good for us though. So
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing to work. It's just that it's not a conventional 9 to 5, right? So
Yeah. I got you. Leslie, how you doing?
I am good. I can agree with him as a full-time entrepreneur.
Yes, full-time entrepreneur.
There's no holidays in my lifetime anymore.
There you go. you create your own holidays, right?
It's a holiday right now.
Yeah.
Wait, so Leslie, how does it feel?
I still have PTSD. I think I'm going to have it for a while
Okay.
because I have that Sunday evening angst that I get everything I wanted to get done, and I got to get it done. I, log into work, and then I realized I was like, you don't have to log into work.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Leslie, what are you doing? What's your business?
I have a wine tourist business, and I also have an online wine store.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
100%. Heck yeah.
Oh man, that's so awesome.
Oh, heck yeah.
So we already then jumped into conversation. I like where it's going. So Jeryl, introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah. Yep. Like Saria said, my name is Jeryl Cole. I'm a native of Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm the owner of Off the Rocks Wine and Beer in the Southeast Baltimore neighborhood. And we've been open for 3 years now. We completed 3 years in September, and we can't complain. It's been a dream come true, and we're just trying to keep rocking and rolling.
Jeryl, I just sent somebody your way yesterday.
Oh, phenomenal. Thank you.
Yeah, they were coming into town and they wanted to do a wine tour, and we didn't have any space available. And I was like, well, there's this Black-owned place in Baltimore, because they were staying in Baltimore. So
that's awesome.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
100%. Clockwise, guys. Pleasure to meet all you guys. I met Sarita at the Philosophy wine tasting, which was awesome. Those girls are phenomenal. Women are phenomenal. And so yeah, I mean, we've been open for 3 years, right? And I think that we're just starting getting some, like, I guess, press and notoriety. I think it's coming genuinely though, right? I think that we've been doing all the dirty work. We've been rocking out as a new retail shop, focusing on community and just digging in, right? As a brick and mortar. And I think year 3, people was just like, oh, it's a really cool wine shop. Let's talk to those guys, so on and so on. So, I mean, that's great, because we didn't really push to be on, I guess, Front Street as a retailer, right? But I think genuinely people, maybe a friend told a friend, or maybe Instagram came across, or whatever, right? And I think that's what the great thing about business is, that if it happens genuinely, it feels that much better.
Yeah, I learned about you guys from DeAsia from the Bad and Boozy podcast, and she's from Baltimore as well, and she always shops there, and she posts on Instagram a lot about you guys. So that's how I found out about you.
That's phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's exactly what it is. Word of mouth, and people are expressing. If they feel good about something, you're expressing it. If you feel bad about something, you're expressing it. But it's genuine, right?
Yeah.
So I think that we really appreciate everybody's, support of the shop, because it's not a new thing. And Leslie, I think you probably could attest to this. It's not a normal thing for people to just jump out. And like you said, full-time entrepreneurship. We opened up a shop, and I was 28. My wife was 25, and we had at the time 2 kids, right? So it's like, yo, this is a great idea to do a brand new store. So in Baltimore, you usually don't have brand new shops opening up, right? Because the city is not giving out new liquor licenses. Usually you have to purchase a store from somebody, right? And if it's sorry.
I was gonna say, can you speak to that? Because I don't think people realize how difficult it is to get a liquor license in Baltimore. I mean, in Maryland in general.
I had no idea.
Yeah, no, it's real. And I think, and truly, guys, I can only speak on Baltimore City, right? Because that's where I do business at. I know a little bit about the surrounding counties, but I know more about Baltimore because we used to. That's all we were doing. We were like figuring this stuff out. We were going to liquor board hearings, like random liquor board hearings. It's like going to a trial, right? And you're not invited, right? It's just you go to somebody's trial and you're just sitting in listening to what's going on. That's what we did for liquor board hearings. And but Leslie, what you were saying, so it is difficult because Baltimore does not give out new liquor licenses for retail.
For retail, but they give them out for like restaurants and wine bars. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. So for restaurants, they Baltimore created. I don't know if I'm getting into detail. It might bore you guys, but
oh no, not at all.
Baltimore, decided. I don't know when they decided, but I think prevalent, like 2017, Hopkins came out with a study that said liquor establishments, like retail, is a direct correlation to violence, right? And then I think when that happened, it kind of like blew up, the liquor establishments, the retail in Baltimore. And, at one point in time, I'm just jumping around, guys, but Baltimore was the #1 per capita to liquor establishments, right, in the country, right? So you had so many liquor establishments. You had bars, restaurants, retail. I mean, so like every corner. You can drive down the main street in whatever main street you want to do in Baltimore. There's a liquor store in every corner, or a bar in between those things, right? So it's a lot. And with that study happened, when that study came out, it kind of gave, and that was from Hopkins, it kind of gave the liquor board in zoning initiative to say, hey, we got to get rid of some of these stores. So they shut down over 100 liquor stores in Baltimore City within a couple of years, right? So that's tough. So within the midst of that, we became about, right? We came about. So we opened up in 2018, right? And we opened up a store. We purchased a license from a restaurant that was close to like Fells Point area, and which is the same legislation district as us. And we brought that license to our neighborhood. They granted it. It was on the main street. They granted it for us to operate, and so we're on premise consumption and off premise, packaged goods as well. But we allow people to drink inside the store, and outside the store we have tables as well. We do tastings, so it's a hybrid, right? We're just not like your packaged goods, traditional Baltimore liquor store. We're much more than that, right? We're a little bit of, I guess, wine bar-esque in retail, right? I think that that gave us the ability to be here, and that's why we've been here, right? But it is very difficult because usually in Baltimore, you bought something old from someone, or it changed hands, and you already have somewhat of a customer base built in. We had to start from scratch, right? We had to start from scratch early on. I mean, you're talking about, first few weeks, a couple customers coming in the door. No one knows that we're here, right? We're not shooting out money for promo. We're not reaching out to news. Or we was like, look, we're going to build this thing from the ground up. And when that person does come in, that will be a customer, that will be a loyal customer here, they'll say like, all right, this is the space for me, because we didn't rush it. We didn't go out and seek attention until the space was like the space, right? We're trying to be the best, not only in the city, we're the best on the East Coast, the best in the country, right? We're trying to do this retail thing at the highest peak. I mean, this is what we're trying to do. And we're not apologetic about that. And we're obviously we're not there yet, but we're definitely making strides towards it, right? Some of our favorite retailers up and down the East Coast, we look at them, we follow them, we see what they're doing and how they're doing it. And we're like, hey, if we want to get here, we have to do this, right? We gotta make the effort to find the most exclusive wines. We gotta make the effort of finding the most exclusive beers. We gotta make the effort of bringing great quality product to Baltimore. And that's what we're doing, right? But it'll take some time, but that's what we're striving for.
You answered, hi, I'm Glennis.
How's it going, Glennis? Yeah.
Fine. You kind of answered the question I was going to ask you. One, I was going to ask, what did you do to have to, how did you differentiate yourself from that packaged good corner store? That was going to be one, and you kind of answered that. But the other question was, and you touched on it, is how are you specializing in any particular varietals or any types of beers? Are you just doing local beers? Just give us a little bit of background on what you're actually carrying in the store.
Yeah, a couple of great questions. I can elaborate as well on both of those questions. So me and my wife, we're from East Baltimore, right? And if anybody knows anybody knows inner city Baltimore, that the liquor stores are, let's just throw a number out there, 75-80% bulletproof glass, right? Shorties and 40s. You can't get a decent bottle of wine most of these places. You can't get a decent 6-pack most of these places. And not to knock them, right? Because that's the way they're making a living. But that's not where I came about in this industry. That's not exactly what I consume as a beverage drinker, right? As an alcohol beverage drinker. So how we differ from those guys, that we truly built it for us personally, right? For me and my wife, what we like, right? What we do, how we feel comfortable. I don't shop anywhere where really I can't even shake the person's hand, right? I think that's a big disrespect point in our communities. I think that if you don't have the decency of trusting me that I won't rob you, or you're not in fear of your life, right? I don't shop at those places. I will drive past thousands of gas stations and I have a gallon of gas left if there's bulletproof glass there. And I know that's there for a reason. And again, this is how people make their money, how they're living. But me personally, I won't go there. So I didn't want something that we create for people to feel isolated and say, oh man, it's a bulletproof glass in front of Jeryl, man. He won't even shake my hand. Yeah, I don't even know, who that guy really is, right? It's a personality that we wanted to show. So that's how we differ in staying true. We're not, I think retail in general, and that's any retail, you kind of create product or your portfolio of what your customer base will be. Technically, we're not doing that, right? We're literally stocking the shelves of what we truly like and believe in, right? And then we tell our coworkers or our employees that, hey, try this out. We always try things out. Hey, you can try this, and if you really like it, you can really sell it, right? So we're not just stocking the shelves of stuff that just going to move in volume, right? We're trying to move volume of things that we actually love or like, right? So that's the first question, and then the second. What was the second question? Remind me one more time, please.
Well, the first question was, I asked, how did you differentiate yourself from the corner bodegas? And the second was, tell us what's in the store, like the favorite varietals, the beers. Are they local? Are they craft? That type of carrying black winemakers, wines, that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, so we definitely, I guess you can categorize us as a specialty shop. I don't like the word boutique. I think when people think of boutique, they think small. They're like, oh, you're small, you don't have anything, right? So I think like a specialty shop, right? I think that we specialize in tons of craft beer, micro brews, and we definitely love the focus of local, but at this point, you can almost get anything across the country, right? So we have 9 doors of beer, like door coolers of beer in the shop, and we have for each door. So for 3 doors, we have, it's like geographically West Coast to East Coast. So that's starting with like California, Washington State, Oregon, and then we're working our way down to Florida in that section of beers. And then we have a whole local Maryland section where we specialize in like the DMV, right? But we add Delaware in that as well. And then we have like a specialty like ready to drink cocktails, seltzers, which is a big thing now. And then we still have your normal domestic, your Bud Light, your Budweiser, and your Stellas and international beers as well. Wine wise, we just get funky, right? We find like the coolest wines you can see, right? I mean, from local wineries that we love, from across the country, across the world. I mean, we kind of categorize it on the wine wall as like light, medium, full bodied, and that can go into, you know, for like reds like Pinot Noir, Merlot, Cabernet, or get into like really funky varietals like Frappada or you know, Sangiovese, you know, Montepulcianos, or for fuller like Primitivos and Negromaros or something like that, right? We kind of and then we have a section, we have islands that specify like regions, right? Like Chile, Argentina, Portugal, Spain, American whites, American reds, Italian and French. And then we, about 8 months ago, we had we added a new island that specializes in women-owned wineries, Black-owned wineries, LGBTQ wineries, right, or brands, and so we do that. But so I worked in Baltimore retail restaurants, you know, for like I'm 31, so like 10 years now. Started around like I was 2021, and nowhere I would work, you really seen Black-owned wineries, right? And I don't think that it was intentional. I just think that it wasn't represented, right? So when we opened up, we were like, yo, I hit up all the reps. I'm like, yo, dig into your portfolio. What do you have? What do you have in Maryland, right? That was Black, it is Black-owned, right? What's available? And whatever was available, right? Literally, whatever was available, I put it on the shelf, 100%. And then over the last year, you see more and more pop up. And yeah, they call on my phone like, Jeryl, we got this available. I'm like, yeah, just send it over. Bring a sample bottle and let's get a few cases in the door, you know? So yeah, that's exactly how we do business. Is just that we're not favoring any region. We're not favoring any distributor or importer. We're just looking for the best quality product that we can bring to our shop. So we show everybody love, right? If it's great, we got you, right?
What was the I'm curious to hear what was the distributor's reaction in the beginning when you were like, bring me some local stuff, bring me some Black-owned stuff.
Yeah. So
were they open to it?
I mean, so I would think you have to be open. You're making your money by selling stuff. So you're just like, I think they were like, yo, whatever you need, I can get it for you. But a lot of these relationships I already had. So a lot of the reps, distributors, and importers that we work with at our shop, I've worked with them in the past, right? So now we're just on the other end of the table that I own the space, right? Before I was a buyer, right? So I was working, but we work with a budget, right? You work with whatever the owner, hey, can we bring this in? I don't know, right? And that's totally fine, but as an owner, you have free range, right? So I'm calling these cats like, hey, what's up, Jeryl? Hey, we got a new spot over here, man. I need you to come by. Let's talk about some things. And then usually we're talking and we're like, yo, this is what we're looking for. You know, usually for reps, I don't take walk-in for reps. You have to set an appointment, or I get free range on Mondays for like 5 hours. Anybody can come in and talk to me. But usually it's an appointment. So when I give that free range, you got to come with something I want to buy, right? Something I want. You can't come in with no crap because you wasted your time, right? So if I told you something in the past, hopefully you take good notes, right? You got to impress me, right? You got to come and say like, hey, this is what we have. This is what we have, you know, for sale. And this is new, Jeryl. This just got cleared. and you can buy it and or whatever. So, I guess now is intentional, right? Now is intentional in the fact that reps for distributors or owners of importers and so on, when they get these things that I want, especially like if it's like Black owned, something like that, because I want to represent it as far as getting some shelf life, right? They call me and they say, "Hey, Joe, we have this. Do you want to try it? Are you interested in bringing it in?" And that's probably the first call that they make. And there's nothing wrong with that because I told them that's what I want, right? For instance, like D Wade Cellars or Wade Cellars, Dwayne Wade's wine. You're probably starting to see it more and more, right? But at first, I think I want to say about 7 years ago, I think when the brand became, all right, they usually was just selling it in China, right? So out of Napa Valley, they were focusing on China for sales, right? I guess like the rollout was mostly overseas, and when it just got to Maryland maybe a month or two ago, and the rep for the distributor called me and said, "Hey, Jeryl, well, look, we want you to be the first one to have." I'm like, "You already know, because that's what we want. We're not unapologetic about it, We're not apologetic about it, but it's like we're unapologetic about it. But it's like, hey, we like everything, but we want to give some light to our Black-owned wineries and brands, 100%."
So I have a question about how you became a buyer. Can you tell us that story? Like, how did you even get into that?
Yeah, working, right? So you start. I think so. My first job was I was a bartender, right? I think one of my first jobs, maybe I was a bar back. Let's be real. I was washing the dishes, right? I was doing whatever the bartender needed me to do. But then your next step, you will be either a server or a bartender, right? You'll do that, and then with that position, you start to understand product, and I started working retail. You understand more product, right? You understand pricing and costs, and so on and so on. And then I think just kept building up, right? Just working. I think for one part of my life, I probably like for 2 years straight, I probably worked every single day. I literally I had 2 jobs and I worked every day. I didn't need a break, right? I had a newborn child, so he'll be 7. Yep, he'll be 7 this year. So yeah, about 7 years ago, I worked almost every day, right? So I learned a lot. Like I was already learning, but for like 2 years, man, it was like 10 years, right? Because I just sprouted, right? Because I was like, all right, so I really understand. I'm actually good at this, right? So and that was every single day. I don't think I took holidays up. I would work holidays, right? I worked at the airport at one point in time. This was maybe a little after that, but they worked on holidays too, right? They didn't close, right? And same thing for retail. Retail don't close; they just close a little early, right? So I would not go to Thanksgiving. I would not go to New Year's Eve parties, and I didn't really care because I had a goal, I had a vision, and this is what happened after that.
So you always knew that you wanted to open up your own shop?
Yeah, I think it was a bar at first.
Okay.
It was like I want to open up a bar, a local bar in my neighborhood, and just do like some really cool like cafe style vibe. It just like I don't know. I'm a fan of Brooklyn restaurants and bars, like Bed-Stuy and all those neighborhoods. And they're like just really cool spaces, and I was like, that's what I want to do in Baltimore. But then it turned into more so retail in a sense. We thought it was safer. We didn't really listen to a lot of advice, right? But the advice we always heard was like, "Yo, you're gonna fail in a year if you open a bar, or you're gonna fail in a year if you open a restaurant, right? Because it's high turnover rate. It's facts. The restaurants and bars are high turnover rates. Cats get in and they out 6-12 months. They're done. So we thought that retail was a little safer, and we have an experience like my family. And I always say this, my family's they were entrepreneurs all the time. So either they own like convenience stores or arcade. My grandma's own arcades or bars or, whatever it was something that my family was always doing. So we kind of knew like, all right, so this is probably a little safer, at least get us in the door and actually figure things out at our own pace,
So how did you figure out what your customer base would be. Did you, because you said you didn't do a lot of like marketing, you didn't spend a whole lot of resources on that. Like, so how did you get your customers?
I think just genuine. So we have Instagram, social media, stuff like that. I've been in the industry for a good time as well. So, you know, if I post on my personal page, people are like, oh, Jeryl finally opened up the space or whatever. So they're there supporting, they're reposting, they're telling their friends, they're coming down, and so on, right? So we're from East Baltimore. Our shop is in East Baltimore. So our roots are here. So I think people just, like I said, genuinely support, right? And I think that our product, so again, I said I wasn't focusing on things that just will sell. I focused on things I actually liked, right? And I could sell to the customer. So we shy away from a lot of big brands, but we have comparable items, and I think better quality items. So we don't do like the Kendall Jacksons, and we don't do a lot of like we have like Josh, but it's in a section called the known section where you know it, so you can buy it. But you know, we compare those items. So we have like Kim Crawford, that's in the known section, but we also have like Sandy Cole, which we really love, and you should buy that one, right? So stuff like that, we kind of like compare. So we don't do like the barefoots or the yellowtails. And again, nothing's wrong with those items, but we just don't sell them. We'll order them for you, but we don't push them, right? We'll push something else, a small production, a family-owned winery, smaller, you know, maybe we try to focus on sustainable and organic. We have a lot of low intervention wines as well. Just cleaner things that, you know, when I come home from a day and I want to have 1, 2, 3, 4 glasses of wine, and I wake up and I'm totally fine, right? Because other chemicals are not giving me all these headaches and hangovers, right? So that's kind of my thing.
I love that. So I didn't realize that you guys were like a hybrid between like a wine bar and retail. Do you have like events like wine clubs or anything, classes like that?
Yeah. So again, the evolution of Off the Rocks has been crazy. We went through so many phases. So early on, we had classes. We would hook up with friends in the area like Nicole Rodriguez, which is a good friend, and she would do some classes at our shop for us. And we would always do tastings. We did tastings every Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the first year and a half of the shop. Like we wouldn't miss a beat. We would rock out. And if I didn't have someone like a rep coming in doing the tasting, I would do it myself. And we were truly like a learning shop. We wanted everybody to try the items before they bought them, right? And if you would come to, and some people would come to every single tasting, and if you came to every single tasting, you would actually try everything in the shop, right? One week we'll have it on the shelf, but we'll just try it out with the local importer rep. And so now it's a little different. Obviously, COVID is different. We don't have as many tables in the shop as we once did. We had like bar stools and high tops in the shop. It's a little different now, but we have tables outside when the weather's great. We always do serve outside, serve by the glass, where we can purchase the bottle as well. We also do ticketed tastings. We're connected to an apartment building, so we're a tenant there, and we host rooftop tastings, right? So which is pretty cool, and you can buy a ticket, and we pair with a great chef, a local chef, and we have a local importer or rep come in, and we host it, and I think it's phenomenal. It's we have another one this Thursday. We have Chef Kat, which is a local popular chef. She's awesome, great food, great person. And then we have Kelly McNeil, who works for Well Crafted, and she'll be there. Well Crafted is an importer distributor, and she'll be there directing the wine. So it's awesome. We have great vibes, great food, great music, and we have a good time. We learn a lot, and we drink a lot. So that's good.
That is amazing. So
yeah. Oh, thank you.
She is amazing. Yeah. She's great.
Oh, yeah. No, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
I was gonna ask something, but I forgot. I'm getting old. I'm sorry.
No, you just need a glass of wine, right?
I wish I could. I'm detoxing. I'm on a
okay, awesome. A
10-day tea. So I just like.
Heck yeah. That's phenomenal.
So what's the most valuable lesson you've learned so far? Like if you had to look back and talk to your 2018 person who opened it up, what would you tell them?
I guess I don't know. That's a good question. I think maybe hire people, right? Maybe trust the fact to hire someone. I think that we were so afraid to hire someone and maybe have that person where we're not there to mess it up, mess up a relationship, right? Maybe not conduct great customer service, maybe not represent the shop as we want it to be. We worked every day for a year. And for the first 2 or 3 months, I actually was still working restaurants. I don't know if I'm supposed to, I don't know if that's probably okay. I don't know if it's illegal or not. I don't know. I had another job, right? I had another job. I would work 3 days a week while we had the shop. And my wife was in the health field. She worked for Hopkins. And she was full-time, right? And she would come in a few days after work, right? When I wasn't there, we would switch off, right? But literally we grind it out. So I would say that maybe we didn't understand that we could afford someone as well. But looking back at it, we definitely could afford to hire a couple people, but we just, I guess ignorance that we just rocked out for the first year nonstop. And my family helped us a lot because we had 2 kids. Our family, we have a big family in Baltimore, and they would always chip in to provide care as far as watching the kids or taking the kids on vacations while we were working, and so on and so on. So that's the only way this shop got off the ground, is because of family. And like you said, your question was, what would you tell yourself 3 years ago? Was hire somebody, get some help. Right.
So you use the term rocked out or rock out a little consistently when you talk. So is that how you, or is that how the name Off the Rocks came into existence, or where did Off the Rocks come from? Because when I think Off the Rocks, there's 2 things I think, okay, you very seldom put you shouldn't be putting wine or beer on rocks in a glass unless you're making cocktails with them. Or, you say Off the Rocks and they're like, well, I'm going to make a cocktail, but it's going to be off the rocks. So how did you come up with that?
No, I think that's great. You're right. So the first part you made was you usually don't put ice in wine or beer. 100% we play off of that. But my family name, so my dad's side of the family last name is Rocks, ROX. So we played off that. Shout out to the Roxes, right? We played off of that, and so ROX is a family name. But again, to your point, you don't put ice usually, right? I don't mind. Right. Look, if it's a hot day and I'm choosing wine over water, I'm gonna throw a couple cubes in my Pinot Grigio, my Sauvignon Blanc, and you know what I mean. It just get a little colder and just kind of chug it a little bit, right? But to that point, you usually don't. You're right.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I love it. So I have a final serious question. Like, what advice would you give somebody who is trying to open up a wine shop or a wine bar?
Yeah, I think I guess don't be afraid. I think a lot of people have great ideas to do these things, and they kind of psych themselves out and they over plan. You can plan as much as you want, but you really won't see what you have to do until you're in it, right? Because it's a forever changing industry, right? So you gotta keep up with it. You gotta, get your skin in the game. You can't just keep planning. Just actually go do it, right? And figure it out. And like I said, try to build a good team around you. And just trust the process, I guess. I would say that, but just don't be afraid to do it. Just go ahead and do it and figure it out.
I do have a question, but I'll wait till we stop recording.
Okay. Okay, so the next part of our show is it's a little random. It's a little fun just to get to know you a little bit better. So the first question is, okay, so this is our money question. So every episode we give a dollar amount and we say, what would you do with this money? And so guys, we are up to $50,000. Awesome. If you had $50,000, what would you do with it?
Oh, if I had $50,000 now, what would I do with it? Probably invest into a business, right? I think that we will find something out. We will figure it out. We would take that money and invest it into Off the Rocks some way, or maybe try to purchase a building. I think that's our goal, is to have a building of our own. We love the space that we're in now. This is pretty small for us right now. Kind of outgrew it. But yeah, I would take the 50,000. I would try to invest it back into Off the Rocks, buy property.
Mm-hmm. Very smart. Leslie and Glennis, what about y'all?
I should be ready for this question because I know it's coming, but I'm never really ready for this question. I hate to say the same thing. So what I'm going to say today is, if you need it invested, Jeryl, I would take my 50,000 to help you invest to buy that building. How about that?
Oh, 100%. Nice. That's awesome.
Oh, nice of you.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I would take my 50,000 and set up a legal defense fund for any woman in Texas or practitioner who would offer an abortion, because I am done state of Texas.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's another whole podcast in itself.
That's definitely a whole nother podcast. Ironically, I'm doing a Texas tasting on next Monday. We're gonna do this. This is my first time tasting Texas wine. So
did you guys get into like McPherson? You have McPherson cellars in there?
I'm not familiar.
Which is I don't know what part of Texas. Well, wherever Texas A&M is. I don't know where Texas A&M is.
Okay.
But wherever
that's College Station.
College Station. So it's not too far from College Station. As I met Kim McPherson, who's the owner, and he mentioned that they're not too far from Texas A&M. But the wine was pretty good. I think his daughter's doing a lot of low intervention wines right now. Very clean wines, but I thought it was good wine.
Okay.
Do you know, if you ever need useless random facts, please come stand next to me. But Texas is the 5th largest producer of grapes in the United States.
Oh, I believe it. Right? I think it's phenomenal. I think that I know, maybe you can tell me, but I would figure that the soil and the humidity is very similar to maybe like a Washington State, a lot of like desert style land maybe, and not a lot of water, or it kind of help produce great grapes there. And I would say this because
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was thinking because I was, you look at, I've never really been in Texas. I've been to Houston. I don't know if that's considered it's no wine probably in hours in that area, but I've been to Washington State, and as far as like desert land, Washington State is that, right? But they have massive land of crop and almost anything, right? Not just grapes, but almost anything. And I would think that maybe it's pretty similar, I would say.
It's still not all, but a lot of growing area in Texas is like in between San Antonio and Dallas, like where you would fly in there. And some of it is dry, but you'd be surprised that some areas are a little lush.
Okay.
In that area, and the Texas grape growers supply a lot of the grapes for like Denver and in that Midwest area.
Oh, awesome.
The growing season isn't as long. But I mean, they have, just like with any region, there's some really good wine. And then there's some that you could pass on.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
Sorry. But check, a lot like Leslie was saying, I'm coming into this conversation towards the end. But Texas is a lot of it is a lot of wetlands too. That's why Houston floods so much, and then you got the river that goes through like that San Antonio area. So the ground stays very, very saturated. You have that issue, but then its topography is really interesting because then you get up into Dallas and then it frosts very easily in that part of Texas. So that helps. Do they make any ice wine?
That's a good question.
That's
a very good question. Okay, so I found this list of things that are found in Baltimore. So y'all give me the yay or nay for each of these items that I'm going to name. And if you don't know what they are, I'm sure that Jeryl or myself can tell you. Oh, Jeryl, I went to Morgan State.
Oh, phenomenal. Coppin State. I went to Coppin State. Me and Ty went to Coppin State.
Nice.
Yeah, HBCU. Yep. Heck yeah. Well, I graduated from there, but I played ball somewhere else. But I finished up my degree, says Jeryl Cole, Coppin State University.
Yes, sir. I love
100%.
it.
Yep.
All right. So number 1, blue crab.
Yes.
Yes. Is
that
a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second one, snowballs.
Oh, yes.
Them pink things?
No. It's just like a how would you describe it, Jeryl? Just like a snow cone in a cup.
Yeah.
That
like a snow cone, shaved ice.
Snow
right?
cone.
It's just like shaved ice. Yeah.
Oh, a snow cone. Yeah. I thought you were talking about the snowball used to be that little piece of cake with the pink.
Oh no, not that.
I was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in Baltimore, they put them in styrofoam cups and call them snowballs. Yeah. Okay, I've never had this before. Smith Island cake.
No, what's Smith? Maybe I've heard. I don't think so. What's Smith Island cake?
Hold on, let me Google it. I thought you know.
Yeah, let's
Smith
look.
Island cake. Okay, so it's just layers of yellow moist cake and homemade fudge frosting.
Right.
Oh, so I
But
definitely
the layers are real thin.
Oh yeah, I've had it. So I guess I didn't know the term of it, but oh yeah, I love that style cake. So I'll say yes.
Yes, to me too. It looks good.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna let y'all try first. So that's it right there.
Oh yeah, I've had that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Pit beef.
Oh yeah. It's not something I eat every day, but when I do, it definitely. So my cousin's a chef. He cooks really great pit beef, but Popular Chaps pit beef right up the road.
Beef.
Chaps is awesome.
Oh yeah, I would have pit beef. I thought you said good beef. I was like, what is that? But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan of pit beef.
Yeah. I don't have a clue what it is.
Can y'all describe it for Glennis?
Don't.
Yeah, it's kind of like, again, it's like barbecue beef.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of, you probably had
a roast beef sandwich.
Yeah, but it's Baltimore style.
Yeah,
Baltimore style. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny. And on Google, when you Google and you scroll down, the question is pit beef a Baltimore thing?
Yeah.
That is interesting. Okay, I'm learning something.
Okay, next one, burger cookies.
What?
That's a new one for me in the last maybe 10 years.
Okay,
last 10 years.
Okay. I saw this on the Food Network.
Yeah, I didn't grow up eating burger cookies, but as an adult, I was introduced to burger cookies, and I thought it was really awesome.
Is it GER?
Yeah.
Like a
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Burger cookies. Okay.
If you go to
it's a German immigrant.
The gas station has them a lot.
Really?
With the blue and that sells the chicken.
Oh, Royal Farms.
Royal
Farms got burger cookies?
Mm-hmm. These are burger
surprised.
Cookies. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, they're awesome. It's a cake it's a pie, local pie shop near my house that does like a burger cookie. It's called the Baltimore pie. You just put burger cookies on top of it. So it's pretty good.
Wow.
I was like,
Yeah, if you don't know what a burger cookie is, it's just like a basic like cookie, but it's like smothered with like chocolate icing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're good. All right. What's the next one? Here we go. Natty Boh.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's like one of the first beers you ever have. Like Natty Boh. Right. A fun fact though, Natty Boh has been out of Baltimore for like 30 plus years.
Yes, right.
Really?
It's a Milwaukee company owns it. And it's not produced here, but like 95% of the sales in Natty Boh is in Maryland.
I believe it.
Really?
So it's still very Baltimore, but it's just not produced here.
It's like drinking slip.
What'd you say?
I said, like, it will tear up your stomach. I am going to
I've never had it before.
It's horrible beer.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But it's Baltimore. It feels Baltimore though, right?
Say.
All right. Next one is lake trout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lake trout. Oh yeah. You grew up on that, right? This is awesome. Fried fish is great. Yeah.
Yep. And it's cheap.
And it's dirt cheap.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I saw this on the list. I don't know if it's like a real Baltimore thing, but a coddy.
What's that?
So all it is potatoes and cod. It's supposed to be like a poor man's crab cake. So it's mostly like white fish and potatoes and a patty. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've had fish. Yeah. Fish cakes. Yeah. So,
yeah.
I make out of cod. Yeah. I guess I never called it that, but yeah, 100%. Yep. Yeah. Fish cake, cod cake. Yep. 100%.
Okay. All right. Chicken box.
Oh, the originators, right? I think Baltimore termed that term, right? The chicken box, the 4 wings, fried rice, salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce. Yes. It's like the worst thing you could do as an athlete, but we would eat it almost every day after practice in high school.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh. Yeah. You burn it off the next day. You're okay.
Oh my goodness. Imagine them doing that now. Can you?
Oh, it's hard. Well, I could not do that now.
Yeah.
That's what it was called. Yeah.
What'd you say?
I didn't know that was the name of it.
Oh,
I didn't know it had a name. That it was chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Morgan, we used to get our chicken boxes from Sonny's.
Oh, it's famous Baltimore Sonny's, right?
Yes.
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
All right. So last one, crab cakes.
Oh yes. I think I was in Virginia. This was years ago, and they were like, "Hey, we created crab cakes," and they had a good story about it. And I say, "Okay, maybe you did. I don't know, maybe." But it's Baltimore made it popular, right? Baltimore is the crab cake place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I don't prefer crab cakes over crabs, but I'll eat it if it's there. It's something I never order from a restaurant.
Yeah. I think.
You have to be discerning when you order from.
Yeah, I have to know it's good.
Yeah, I have to see it because I don't want a whole bunch of filler, a whole bunch of grenades. God,
you got it. You got it.
I'm telling you, because it will go back. It will go back.
Right.
I have no problem.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, Jeryl, this was a fantastic conversation. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This was great. I look forward to it. And this was great. Anytime you guys want to talk wine with Baltimore retailer,
we gotta come see you in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Anytime, guys. I can shoot my personal. I don't think you have my personal contact, but anytime you're in the area, let me know. I'll make my business to host you guys at the shop, and I think it'd be great. We can have a couple glasses of wine.
Nice. Yeah. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you on social media handles?
Yep. So you can find us at Off the Rocks, and that's OFFTHEROX. We also, our physical store is in Southeast Baltimore in the Highlandtown neighborhood on the corner of Eastern and Clinton. So we're located for the Baltimore people, right? An old famous German restaurant was called the Hausner's. Right. So the Hausner's was a long running German restaurant. I think maybe they exceeded 50 years. of operation, and so now the housing is no longer there, but it's an apartment building, and we're at the bottom of that apartment building.
Okay. Outstanding.
All right.
So that's Instagram and Facebook, right? Off the Rocks.
Yes. Yep. Off the Rocks. Yep.
Thank you for coming and being here.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time. We know you are busy and ready. Thanks for joining the Swirl Suite, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this episode with us and Jeryl. Don't forget to follow Off the Rocks on all social media, and don't forget to follow us either at the Swirl Suite or follow us individually. Vino 301, Vino Noir, Girl Meets Glass, Vine Me Up. Have a great week. Cheers.